ciel bleu vole en silence.
It's not you that's the problem. It's not you that's the problem. It's pants that are the problem. Pants are a problem for all of us. They're a problem for all of us. And today I'm going to attempt to break down the 3 most problematic pants that women over 40, over 50 are trying to find flattering these days. So welcome if you're new here. My name is Netta, personal stylist. My whole goal here on YouTube is to help you build a wardrobe and a style that you love. So you look beautiful, you feel confident every single day. I do that here. I do that with my personal styling clients. And of course, I do that through my Ageless Style program, where I have cheered over 5,000 women on to effortless everyday style. So if you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. We're going to be talking about pants. But before I start talking about pants, I want to mention that I have the Closet Confidence Workshop series coming up. This is the summer edition. We're going to be talking about how to get dressed in summer. And let's face it, getting dressed in summer is pretty much the hardest time in the world to get dressed, because it's just hard. It's like the shorts and the bathing suits and all the hard stuff, right? So you won't want to miss it. It's absolutely free. The link is in the description box as well as in the pinned comment. So don't miss it. June 24th. It won't be the same without you. Okay, so let's talk about pants and why they're such a problem. Pants are such a problem. They're such a problem because if you think about how many different ways pants can go wrong, they can have the wrong rise and the wrong inseam and the wrong width and the wrong fabric and the wrong waist and there's just so many different details that can go wrong with a pair of pants. It's truly like finding a needle in a haystack to find a pair of pants that fits you and looks really, really beautiful on you. So what does it take to find a great pair of pants? How can we make the pants process easier? And what are the 3 most problematic pants that we're all struggling to wear these days? So let me get into it because I've got a lot, as usual, to cover. Okay, so there are 3 ways that I think we can make any pants more flattering, more stylish, more everything. 3 ways that we can make them work better. The first is to extend the leg line. So the way that you do this is obviously by wearing a longer pair of pants. The longer your legs look, the better you're going to look in pants in general. But another way to extend the leg line is by either matching the shoe to the pants, an age-old trick that we've all heard, right? Like black shoes, black pants, you're gonna have a nice long unbroken line. Or doing a nude shoe with the pants will also create a nice long line that won't stop at the foot, right? It won't cut off the leg line. But even just having an elongated toe or a sleek shoe, whenever you wear a really chunky or block or like an athletic shoe with a pant, is the hardest look to wear. Like a regular sneaker with a pant is the hardest look to wear. So the sleeker the shoe and the closer to either your skin tone or the hem of the pants the shoe is, the longer that your legs will look and the more flattering the whole effect will be. So keep the shoes in mind. They are a part of the pants look, even if they're not directly, part of the pants. Okay, the second thing is to hike up your pants. I see so many women sharing pictures in my Ageless Style community who are wearing their pants too low. Now, I know low rise was a thing, and then they thought it was going to be back, but it's not really back. And with a few exceptions, there are a few of you that probably genuinely do look best in low rise. But for the most part, most women look best in their jeans when their jeans are at their waist, where the waist is the smallest. So now even me with a short torso, my high rise pant on me is really just to my waist. It's not going all the way up to here, right? Like if I did a real high rise, it's going to go up too high because I have such a short torso. But really that smallest part of your waist is where you want, most women want their pants to hit. Now you can cheat a little bit up or down depending on the length of your torso, but you don't want it like well below your belly button. It's going to look like your pants are falling down, and you won't be able to do my favorite thing in the world to do with pants, tuck your shirt in, right? Like you can't tuck especially knit shirts into or any shirts really into low rise pants like you can to higher rise pants. So you really want pants that are right around your waistline. The Fashion Fit formula gives you a bunch of different lengths for this, and it takes the guesswork out of where your pants should hit. So that's definitely a resource to look into. But when in doubt, just play with a couple of different rises and see which one works for you. But chances are it's a lot higher than you think it is. Okay, the third general rule about pants is to define your waist. I was alluding to that. The reason you're bringing your pants up is because you want your waistline to be defined. You want your waistline to be defined. You want it to show. And this is true for almost everybody, almost all the time. Yes, there are exceptions, but most women look best with a little bit of waist definition. Now, you can do this many ways. You can do this with a little structured top worn with your pants, and the top hits right around the lower part of the waist or even at the waist. You can do it with a little jacket that adds some definition to the waistline. You can do it by tucking. You can do it by belting. There are a lot of different ways even without tucking, where you can just kind of draw a horizontal line at your waist. And really the easiest way to do that is by having a structured top or structured jacket that ends in the vicinity of your waist. You're really going to create a little bit of waist definition without having to tuck or drawing any attention to a belly area. Okay. Now let's talk about the three most problematic pants that we're all struggling with. The first is the cropped pant, I'm not even going to go there with the capris or the pedal pushers that are showing up on the runways, and then the capris that I've been warning you about since 1985. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about cropped pants. Now, these look something like this. They're generally wider leg, and they hit at a different spot on your leg than a capri does, whereas a capri hugs that awkwardly largest part of your calf. A crop grazes and ends below that and grazes your leg and doesn't cling to anything and has a much more modern look. But is a crop even flattering? And why are there so many out there? And why are there so many pants that are hovering between the crop zone and the ankle zone? I'll tell you why. Because brands are cheap and they're cutting corners. They want the pants to fit everybody, and by doing that, they fit nobody. So they're making pants so that they're cropped on the tall people and ankle length on the short people, and then everyone in the middle is like having that weird in-between length that is just not cute and is not really a thing, but they're trying to make it a thing, and brands and stores and websites are showing these pants at this weird length. And everyone's telling us that that's a good length. It's not a good length. It's not a cute length. That's never been a length for pants. They're making it up. So how do we counteract that cropped pant thing? First of all, you need to know the best length for your cropped pants, because cropped pants are a thing, and they're a great option for showing off different shoes and just giving yourself a fresh new look. And for a summertime option, they're just a fun, different look. But you've got to find a way to wear crop pants so that they look flattering on you. And the way to do that is to make them end at the right place. Now, again, I'm going to allude to Fashion Fit formula again. It will give you the exact length where your cropped pants need to hit, but you can also take pictures of yourself in all the different lengths of cropped pants that you have, because there is a magic spot where your legs look longer and you look like, showing your ankles actually adds flattery and makes you look leaner and slimmer and taller and all the things, rather than making you look shorter. So there's a good length for everybody, and there's a way for almost everyone to wear a cropped pant well, but it just has to fit you really well. So, the cutting corners, something that's driving me crazy. We're seeing it all over the place. I think that shorter pants are really kind of here to stay for a while, and so it's worth it to get that cropped length right and to figure it out for yourself. So search by inseam. I mention them all the time. It's a good idea, once you've figured out what your crop pant length is, to know what that inseam length is, because then you can search and you can see whether the crop pants that you're looking at online are anywhere in the vicinity of the right length for your legs. Okay, so you know that when we're looking at crop pants, really baggy and really wide pants that are also short are going to make your legs look shorter. So it's not about how tall you are or how short you are. I, for example, am a short person with a relatively long inseam of almost 30 inches, like 29.5 to 30 inch inseam. So my legs are relatively long for my height. So because of that, I can do a wider crop pant without it making me look that much shorter. However, you can be taller than me and have shorter legs than I, and that might not be your best look. So wide and short are going to make your legs look wider and shorter in a way. So keep that in mind. If you've got longer legs, play with this. You can get away with it, and it can actually end up even being, flattering. But if your legs are on the shorter side, keep in mind that the wider the pant, the shorter your legs might look. And I'm going to get to more on that in a second. Okay, so how do you lengthen your legs with a crop pant? There are a couple of different ways to do this. You want to either cover your entire foot all the way under the hem of the pants with like a bootie. Like if it's cooler out, you want to extend that leg line. You do not want a line across the top of your foot that's going to cut off the top of your foot if you're trying to get the maximum flattery with your crop leg pants. So like a sock boot or a bootie that comes up underneath the hem of the pants is ideal in cooler weather. The other, in the warm weather solution is to show the entire top of your foot. So either a ballet flat or a strappy sandal, something that is going to draw the eye all the way to the tip of your foot. That's going to be the most leg lengthening solution with a cropped pant. Okay, couple more tips. Tuck your shirts. Have I mentioned that before? Tuck your shirts with crop pants, because if crop pants are inherently going to make your legs look a little bit shorter anyway, you don't want them to be even shorter by wearing a tunic or a longer top with them. Tuck your shirt in so that your legs look longer. And then finally, keep the top sleek and maybe even a little strappy, maybe even a little bit bare, because generally speaking, if you've got a wider leg cropped pant, you've got a lot of fabric down there. So to balance it out, you want a more fitted and sleeker and maybe strappier top to add balance and add flattery to that outfit. So that's my take on crop pants. It's really important to get the length right. It's really important to get the shoe right. It's really important to get the top right. You want a fitted top with a cropped pant and a shoe that elongates your leg. Okay, let's talk about the next problematic pant. That's the wide leg pant, the wide leg pant. I tell everybody, wide leg pants are flattering on everybody. They're flattering on everybody. Yeah, they are, but they have to fit you perfectly. We're always going to go back to fit. They have to fit you perfectly. And I have tried on a couple of pairs of wide leg pants that make me look like a tree trunk. And then I've tried on a couple of pairs of wide leg pants that make me feel like a supermodel. So what is the difference? The difference is fit, particularly the fit around the hips and the waist. If the wide leg pants fit you really well around your hips and waist, and then at your leg torso point. Now your leg torso point, I'll put up an illustration here so you can see what that is. With the Fashion Fit formula, you get the adjusted leg torso point. That means it's either a little bit higher or a little bit lower sometimes than that actual place where your leg and your hip intersect. But that point is where the wide leg pant needs to come out. If the wide leg pant comes out from your hip or the wide leg pant comes out from your lower thigh, it's not going to be a good look. Like, it needs to flare out at that spot. That's when you get that magical wide leg pant effect that we talk about all the time, where your legs look long and slim and your waist looks tiny. Because the idea and the principle behind why wide leg pants are flattering is because you're creating that triangular line that goes from the hem to your waist, and so you're defining and minimizing your waist. You're making your waist look small and you're making your legs look long. That's what a wide leg pant is supposed to do for you. And if it fits properly, i.e. it fits snugly and well around the waist, the hips, and the bum, and then the wideness starts coming out at that leg torso point, then you're going to have a really flattering wide leg pant. Of course, it also, unless it's a crop, it also needs to be full length, because again, you're going to extend that leg line and make your legs look really, really long. Okay, so the flare of the pants, super, super important. Now, not only should the flare of the pants start at the leg torso point, they also can't be too baggy. They can't be super, super, super baggy, especially as a petite person. I've almost broken my neck on a couple of wide leg pants, but they can't be so baggy. So a wide leg is relative to your size. So I can't wear the same wide leg as a 5'10" person can. Like, that's nonsensical, right? Like, I would look like a clown. So it has to be a wide in proportion to your legs. So for a petite person, it's going to be a little less wide than for a tall person. And Otherwise, you're going to end up looking like you've got, shower curtains on the sides of your legs. Like, it's just not going to be flattering. It's going to be way, way too much fabric. I also think stretch is a really, really nice thing to look for in a wide leg pant, a little bit of stretch so that they have that fit around the hips and bum and waist. And they just fall more in a little bit more of a fluid way when they have stretch to them. If the fabric is really stiff of a wide leg pant, then they kind of look like you're walking in like sticks of paper or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so stiff that it doesn't flatter your leg. It doesn't drape around your leg really well. Okay, and then finally, a wide leg pant should be high-waisted. And by high-waisted, I'm really talking about the smaller part of your waist or somewhere around your belly button. I'm not talking up to here. But whatever high-waisted is for you, because again, you want to extend your leg line and you want that balance of having a waistline with that volume of the pants. So again, like I said with the crop pant, you want either a structured top that ends roughly around your waist, or you want a knit top that's tucked in for a nice sleek look, right? And then maybe a little jacket over the top if you've got a little belly bulge and you want to minimize that. Okay, the last problematic pair of pants that I'm going to talk about is pleated pants. Pleated pants. Now, are pleated pants good for bellies or are they bad for bellies? Like, do they make your tummy look bigger or do they make your tummy look smaller? Both. So I'm going to answer why pleated pants can sometimes work and why they sometimes don't work. So pleated pants work if you've got a little bit of a belly, because if you've got a flat surface over a round surface, like a flat front pant over a slightly rounded belly, you're going to see the rounded belly. But with a little pleating there, a little fabric there, almost like ruching, right? It kind of conceals the little bit of a tummy bulge situation that you've got going on. Now, however, if you've got a much fuller tummy, pleats are not going to do that for you. So pleats are for people with a little bit of a tummy that changes throughout the day. A tummy kind of like my tummy. My tummy is sometimes it looks pretty good. Sometimes it's it's bloated and it shows more. So a minimal tummy works well with a pleated pants. A fuller tummy, I would say avoid the pleats. Other thing about pleats is that you want to make sure that the pleats lie flat. Nothing looks worse, and I've had this happen to me, nothing looks worse than pleats that are opened up because your tummy is pushing them out. So if the pleats need to lie nice and flat or they're not pleating. The pleats are not pleating, then the pleats are not working, right? Also, you need to make sure that you have enough space there for the pleats. So if you've got a really short torso or you've got a really short torso and a really full bust, that might be a lot of fabric in that area for you. So try it, take a picture, share it in our Facebook group. I will give you my feedback about it, but they generally work better on people with medium to longer torsos because they've got a little bit more room to work with. Remember my edict, my rule, my advice to not ever put a ton of detail where you don't have a lot of space. So if you don't have a ton of space in your torso, then because you've got a shorter torso or a shorter body in general, you may want to minimize the pleats or at least keep them on the subdued side, right? So what you don't want is a full bust, no waist, and then lots of pleats, right? Like no waist as in short-waisted, full bust that goes almost down to your waist, and then pleats that are opened up. Like that's when we're going to make ourselves look fuller and boxier, and it's just not going to be a flattering look. So make sure you've got the room to wear pleats, and make sure that you've got just a little bit of tummy if you have any at all, so that the pleats lie nice and flat. Otherwise, you can try sizing up in the pants and seeing the pleats work better that way. Another thing is, so big tummy and a big bust, and a short torso, not a great combination with pleats. Finally, drapey pleats are much more flattering than stiff pleats. The fabric needs to have a nice drape to it, a nice give to it. It needs to be silky and drapey so that they lie nice and flat. If the pleats are really stiff and they're going to add volume there. They're going to add volume there, and they're going to stick out and look like they're making your tummy look bigger, and they're just not going to be cute, right? So you want a nice drapey pleat, and of course, like I said, I'll repeat it one last time, you want those pleats to lie flat. So pleated pants, wide leg pants, and crop pants. I covered all three pants problems that we're all struggling with over 50. I want to know what your feelings are about pants. I'm going to share some of my very favorite pants, including a couple of custom options, because let's face it, buying pants off the rack is possibly one of the three bottom life experiences At least in terms of fashion, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, and we all struggle with them. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about pants, let me know in the comments below, and I will try to get to all the questions. Don't forget to sign up for Closet Confidence. I don't want you to miss that, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe so we can hang out again. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next video.